What's up, people? It's your boy Benny Blanco. I know it's been a long ass time since I've been on here, but there has been some new things going on in hip hop that's really made me want to make some videos about this situation. This last week has been crazy. But before I even get into that, I want to say RIP to Mac Miller. I just found out he died maybe a couple of hours ago as I'm recording this video. But that all ties into this whole week. It's just been a crazy week for white hip-hop artists. It's just been insane. G-Eazy, MGK, Eminem, of course, and now Mac Miller. So it's just been a crazy week in hip-hop. So I didn't want to really do a reaction video to the MGK Eminem diss or the Eminem song talking about MGK, or even going back to the Tech 9 MGK song where he first dissed in, which a lot of people seem to not remember or knew that was a subliminal diss towards Eminem. So even starting off with that, just the backstory for the people that don't seem to understand what was going on. This whole thing started with MGK dissing, or not dissing, but just kind of being disrespectful to Eminem's daughter. While she was underage, he said some comment like she looks hot, blah blah blah. So I think she was around 16 when he made that comment. A little stupid to do for someone you claim that you respect and all this stuff. But then again, Eminem never really addressed it, but he did try to blackball MGK, which he talks about in his diss. So blah 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 blah. Eminem comes out with this CD. He's dissing everybody. He's dissing Drake. He's dissing Joe Buddens. He's dissing MGK. He's dissing, who else was he dissing? I heard he's according to Joe Buddens in his podcast, which we'll get into, he might have sent a shot at Jay-Z. Who else? Academics, and of course all the mumble rappers. So all that we'll get into in the podcast. Now, a lot of people probably who are not fans of Joe Budden probably skip this podcast, but this was probably the most interesting podcast I've ever seen. Like, hands down, this podcast was straight ether, man. Like, if this podcast was a diss, Joe Buddens would have already won, because all the points he gets to in this podcast, it makes you think about the whole situation. So I'm just going to jump into this podcast. I'm not going to play the podcast like an hour and a half. I did have certain topics that I was going to get to, and we're going to cut to those. So we kind of shorten it down, but it's still fairly long because he touches on a lot of subjects, or he goes back and forth. So we're just going to jump into it right now because this is straight heat if you ain't watched it. So let me start this recording. So we're going to jump right into it.
Oh, perception. That's what I was on. Perception's important. I take full responsibility for the demise of the group because now that we can finally talk about it.
So you're talking about Slaughterhouse.
My perception of M was just very different.
So, I do follow like Crooked Eye and them from Slaughterhouse, and Crooked Eye did address this after the fact, and it was just one of those things nobody ever talked about, but everybody kind of knew it was Joe Buddens, because I don't know if you guys remember that song. You could go check it out. I think it was called Slaughtermouse, and which was a diss, but he was kind of talking about how he don't like the way things are going, blah blah blah. So it was supposed to be more of a diss, and he ended up changing it. So everyone knew there were some issues there, and Joe Buddens is kind of known for having his issues with when it comes to labels and everything, but he'll get into that.
It's always been just very different, and their perception of me was always very different.
Sometimes that's you, Joe.
I've never been on. Y'all already know how Joe give it up. I'm that major label dude.
Just said
so
that.
let's be clear. When you sign the Shady Records, you sign there with hope.
Now think about this. What are you talking about right now?
You sign there thinking some things are going to occur that may not be written in a contract. The contract is never going to say, hey, the biggest rap star in the world will do A, B, and C to help your likeness and your visibility and your brand.
Okay.
So that's the hope you go into these things with. All right,
So now he's talking about that, and he's talking about how Slaughterhouse never really got publicity he felt like the big label should have given them. And that's one of the things Joe always talks about. He talked about that with Def Jams too. But this is the same thing. If you guys actually followed the hip hop story of Eminem and Royce 5'9", this is the same thing that kind of happened with Royce 5'9". He felt like, man, he wasn't getting the play he should, and he kind of branched off, which wasn't really smart, and then tried to come back, and then the whole D12 Eminem versus Royce 5'9" happened for a lot of people that probably don't know that, even though they're best friends now. What's Yellow Wolf? I think the same thing happened with Yellow Wolf. I don't think Yellow Wolf want to be with Eminem anymore. Who else? What's that? Obi Trice. Same thing with Obi Trice. He was talking about the same issues. It's just constantly recurring. And if you think about it, you never really see Eminem big up in his artists. You know, D12 got on the back burner. He even talks about it on his album. The artist that really got the play was like 50 Cent when he brought 50 Cent out, which 50 Cent was already big in New York. So we're just gonna keep going with it.
Tour, fine. You too big. We can't tour. All right, we can't open shit up. We'll keep doing our Chitlin Circuit shit. But boy, am I jealous of Rick Ross and Wale. Wale and Meek Mill.
Yep.
Man.
He's with him.
Damn, that nigga Ross is out there showing us.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Joe is saying. Ross is showing you how you're supposed to be with your artists.
Facts.
He's next to those guys.
Facts. Yeah. Even with Death Row.
Fellas.
P. Diddy. He always with his artists.
You know why all this
Can we get this nigga... Tell me where our advantage is in being here.
Think about that.
With him.
Timberland.
Can we get a verse on some shit?
Well, we just gotta get the song. And if once we get the right song, and then we send it to Paul.
Ha! Right? All right, great. We can't get that verse. That's fine. Okay, we'll make it happen. I think for me, I got a little lost, and that's why that Tiana topic a few weeks back was real big for me when she was talking about she did an album and then gave it to Kanye, and then it was a different album when it came out. That was real big for me because Shady Records was the very first time that I had experienced that in my career. I had always been in control of my music. And the final result of it, the outcome, when we did all the music, we couldn't hold it. We had to send it somewhere. And then by the time it came back, it was different.
See, now that's...
It wasn't the same.
So that's important, especially for someone, an artist like Joe. He... As an artist, you want your stuff to be organic. You want it to still be yours. But what he's saying is the things that we're putting together in the studio, they were sending it off and it's coming back and it's changed and it's different. And if you kind of follow Slaughterhouse, you see the transition from the hip hop heads with the typical hip hop beats, and it kind of goes over a little bit to the pop side with the CeeLo Greens and these songs that sound a little more popish and trying to get a broader audience, and that's not really who they wanted to be anyway when they first started. So I understand what Joe's saying about this.
Same.
I mean, it sounded like a bunch of Eminem beats.
Yeah.
But so if that wasn't bad enough that you can't hold your own music, every time we had to go do 5 or 6 more songs, it was always Eminem beats. They were horrible. They were horrible fucking beats.
Horrible.
I've said it to you a lot about that album.
I've said it in sessions.
They were bad fucking beats, man.
Yeah.
And in private.
But no, hold up, Joe.
Especially
I don't
y'all.
care.
It wasn't about
man.
it. I don't want to say they were bad beats.
They weren't for us. They weren't for us. They weren't for us. If that weren't the end of it, sometimes when the songs came back, verses were missing. It's 4 niggas in the group. You want an M verse? That's 5 niggas. All these niggas rap.
So people getting cut off.
This is before 8 and 12s really became the thing, and we had to try to figure shit out. Somebody's verse had to go. Imagine that competition in the studio racing to the booth.
Yeah.
It's nasty. It's nasty.
So imagine
It's nasty.
that though.
It's nasty.
Think about it.
Part
You're
of
in a group, and y'all put y'all songs together. Y'all send it out, and none of you guys are making the decision to cut someone out of the song just to put someone else on or whatever. But when it comes back, they take one of you, either you or somebody else, off the track, man. Now imagine how you would feel if that was happening to you.
Don't want a part of that. But anyway, when the verses came back, it was not only Joe's verse cut.
So he's saying a lot of times it was his verse.
That gave a lot of information to Joe.
And I can't
What it
say
said
that
to Joe was, you don't
Joe
know
wouldn't
shit
know.
about the group. You don't know shit about the group. You don't know shit about the 3 niggas that, and I'm not talking about Royce. I'm talking about me, Crook, Joel, individually. You know nothing about us. Or if you did, you would never be able to make sense of taking Joe off of our emo intro that Joe had to fight for to even be there in the first place. Y'all cut that record.
Yeah.
See, that's more shit. Joe got a real problem with other niggas being able to determine what goes and what doesn't go in Joe's fucking idea.
Yeah.
Nigga, let's talk about it for a little bit.
That's real.
Know what Joe's gonna do every time you try to contaminate his idea?
Bounce.
Guess, nigga. You fucking right. Exit. Exit stage left. Let me speed this up for you.
Speed it up, Joe.
Newsflash M.
Got shit to do. He's talking
I heard the
directly to
album.
him. I think I seen this little clip.
And because I
This-
think you don't
this the
really know
viral
all the
clip.
members that were in the group, I don't really think you know our history.
Is it?
Let me tell you what Joe Budden has thought this entire time. I've been better than you this entire fucking decade.
All right. So now that's the line that I've been seeing all over the internet. So with that being said, I want to look at Eminem's discography. Decades, 10 years, right? Revival was 2017. That was whack. Recovery, 2010. Wasn't nothing to talk about. Relapse wasn't nothing to talk about. Encore. That's 2004. We already passed a decade. The only thing I say Eminem had good between the last decade would probably be the album he had with Royce. And I think that's partly because it was with Royce, and Royce probably had some discussion on what beats and what choruses went on there. Because if you actually look at the last decade of Eminem's discography, Joe might not be wrong. Now that's only if you like Joe. And me as a lyricist, a person that loves lyricists, I like Joe. His mood musics were hard, and all of his Slaughterhouse tracks were hard. So I kind of got to give it to him. The last decade, Eminem, all this stuff was prior to that. All this good stuff was prior to the last decade. So take it how you want to take it.
Huh? Can't say that back then. Can't say that back then. But in my rapper brain, I'm a content nigga. You gotta say something. You have not said anything for the better part of a whole fucking decade.
That's true.
You have rhymed a bunch of words. So, let me give you some love. Eminem is the best rhymer of words in the world.
Agree. Totally.
On the planet.
He can rhyme anything.
He can rhyme letters.
Rhyme anything.
He can rhyme words that don't rhyme. He can rhyme accents damn near. He can do a lot. Boy, he's talented.
I agree.
Know the hip hop I fell in love with? The hip hop that said you gotta say something. I heard a nigga that knows. I heard a nigga that's fully aware that he has not said shit for about a decade now.
In all fairness,
I see a nigga threatened.
In all fairness, the recovery and the what was the other one? The other relapse and all those. He had some kind of content. I just don't think it was like relatable to a lot of people. So, in fairness to Eminem, there was some content there, but I just didn't feel those albums, and I had lost hope for Eminem at that point.
By the other niggas in the game. I see a nigga still using the old trick. Fam, stop calling niggas name. Stop just throwing names out and thinking that that's gonna be a single because you said a bunch of names. You ain't said shit. Find another muse. Pull from somewhere else. You fucking superstar niggas been sheltered and bored. MGK is right. Y'all been slaves to your own fucking superstardom. You can't leave the house. It costs money for you to go out. You don't know shit about shit, M. You don't know that it's probably 3 niggas on the label that are better than you.
Talk about.
Oh, wait a minute. Griselda's there too now.
Which is another thing.
Wait a minute. You got the nerve to be shouting out all these niggas on your fucking album, and you don't never shout out none of the niggas that you signed? How you...
No, I don't know. He's speaking facts. He's speaking
really
facts.
Feel about the niggas that you've signed, M? Let's talk about it. You don't think it's odd that you said my name more as adversaries than you did when I was there? You don't...
Maybe I don't know if he said it more, but you got to give him credit. He was bringing y'all out to them slaughterhouse ciphers and all that shit for the award show ciphers and all those. So he was doing some stuff in the background. Maybe he wasn't filling your pockets and
Find it odd. You don't think that looks like you not into the business of shady? You into the business of shady?
And M is better than
Who thought that?
line.
Hey, anybody out there? Who thought a domestic violence bar was getting Joe out the bed? M, you know the rules of engagement. You know how this goes. No, nigga, I'm retired. I had to go get my millions another way since you wouldn't help.
Damn.
M.
No, I feel like that's become a pretty popular opinion.
But when I used to say Royce is better than M, everybody thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Royce is 100% better.
When I said he makes better music than M, people thought I was
Royce
crazy.
100% makes better music than M.
But when
Royce
I
is
said
so
it,
slept
it
on.
wasn't the popular opinion.
Because we let's not say this. Let's leave Royce out of this. Because Royce, let's leave him out.
Yeah, and
Was putting out music is
trash.
trash. He's telling us it's trash. That's also on the album. Him, first song, him saying, yo, I maybe could have said the Trump shit a little differently. Hey, same thing I said. Why am I getting dissed? Him is on the album saying, hey, revival. It wasn't really the greatest. Hey, same thing Joe said. Why is Joe getting dissed? Yo, niggas
like
don't have...
people be in the comment sections be like, man, no, fucking Joe's a traitor. He fucking turned his back on him. He shouldn't have said that shit. Fuck that shit. That does not make any sense. You're supposed to have people on your team that's supposed to tell you the truth. Somebody should have told Eminem those albums was trash and he shouldn't have put them out and he should have done something different. He should have rapped. He should have went and grabbed Royce again or something. They knew them albums was trash. And Joe, even if you watch it was before this podcast, that show he was on with Academics. If you watch that, he was trying not to badmouth Eminem the whole time. You know, people kept asking him, how you really feel? How you really feel? He's like, I didn't think it was the best, la la la. And then people just kept going at it. You know what I mean? So eventually, you just have to tell the truth. He's supposed to be, he's supposed to inform people about hip hop, and you can't sit there and lie just because you got a relationship with this dude. So Joe did what he should have did. He spoke the truth, and everybody felt that way anyway. And now they're trying to act like they don't know what the hell he's talking about, and he's a snake and all that shit.
Have faith in your pen, M.
The nerve of Paul to come out, we weren't dissing Drake. Oh, you worried now, huh?
Yeah, he was definitely
Listen.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you don't be pussy now. Don't
listen.
you
Do you
be.
think Drake don't respond to him?
I didn't understand that,
Hold on, let's
man.
play the fairy music, man.
I didn't
Drake don't
understand.
respond to Pusha?
Yeah, M, I know you don't know me very
Luda.
well, but not only do I think that
Kendrick.
a bout between you and I would
didn't
end
respond to
embarrassing
Common.
for you, I don't even think there's a chance you would win it.
Drake don't want no smoke.
I don't think there's
Anyone.
one
Except for
chance.
Kanye West.
And I'm being 100% honest. So let me get to the end of my emotional roller coaster, because this is when I was at my crossroads. You big enough for me to respond to.
Oh, for sure. They don't get much.
But I mean, be clear, Joe has never responded to niggas because they were famous. Because they were big.
yeah, sure.
Like, I know that that's how it's always looked, even with me and Drake, but I loved him then. Like, I'm gonna always beef with, like, address niggas that I love, because that's when I have a lot to say. When I said M has been my greatest case study, I've been watching M since 1996. You got to be really careful of niggas that's a fan of yours. I have a lot to say. And for me to think that he is incapable of saying very much, I don't even really see how it's a contest. I'm only not going because when I go...
I mean, there's a booth here. There's a booth right behind us.
They want some
Your
bars.
engineer's right there.
Y'all know me, right? Rory might not know me. Parks knows.
I know you.
Maul might act like he don't know me.
He knows.
Maul,
What you mean?
Maul knows.
What you mean?
When I shoot, I'm not just shooting at one nigga. I'm shooting at every nigga I think has an issue. And unfortunately, it's a few niggas I think got a few issues.
So,
Well, I want to see it. I'm just,
who you think he talking about, though? I think definitely Eminem. If y'all don't know, he done had beef with 50 and G-Unit and those dudes before. Actually, him and Royce done had beef before. Who else? And it might be Crooked Eye. I think it could be Crooked Eye. I think Crooked Eye feels a certain way, and I know they was on some. They were talking like maybe a week or so ago, and they were talking about having a rap battle anyway. So I think there's some might be going on there. I know Crooked Eye and Joel were like the homies, and Royce and Joe Buddens was like the homies. So, I don't know if he think Crooked Eye got some beef with him, or he got some beef with Crooked Eye or whatever. But so it could be that Crooked Eye could be the one.
putting that out there. True. I want to see the dance. I'll buy tickets to that dance.
Definitely. I'd wear
You
my
know,
best.
But if I'm in Vegas, let me just say that I would put my money on you.
You know why it would be a quick dance? You know why it'd be a quick dance?
I don't think he'd respond.
He wouldn't respond.
Yeah.
He would ball up like a nigga do when he get punched in his fucking ribs by a nigga who has punched niggas in his ribs his whole career. And if you ask me, there was a brief moment in time where Mariah had the upper hand on you.
You play too much. Mariah Carey.
You know what was funny? That was one thing that I was talking about with the homies. I'm like, yo, who has M ever really got into it with?
Hey, there was a
Benzino.
moment in time
Benzino and
where a jawline
Everlast?
it stung you a little bit.
Everlast.
And Everlast had the smoke.
Royce was kind of.
I know you don't know about me. You better go check my fucking Carfax.
Who
You
else?
better go ask some niggas that's close to you. I
Christina
live
Aguilera.
for this type of
Limp Bizkit.
shit. And all of that rappity rap, lyrical miracle bullshit, any nigga who on it like that think they want it with me, I don't think you would fare well. So let me end this with this. I know I've said this a lot. This is what I'm thinking, Em. I'm retired. And that bullshit that you spit was bullshit. Not getting out of bed for it. Now, you inspire me the way that my harsh criticism inspired.
Yeah, and that line was kind of whack. He getting that Joe Buddens talking about last time, the last hit he had was on a woman or something like that. But don't he be in the same thing? Like Eminem has been in the same situation. So how you gonna call somebody out when your shit stink? You know what I mean? Like I didn't respect that line. I thought it was cool, and I wish he would have kept going and sent more shots, but that wasn't enough for you to say. You know, it's like that's crazy to me. Just like Mike Tyson calling somebody out for whooping somebody's ass. You can't call somebody out if your shit stinks, man. So
you go spit something to make the superior MC, me, get out of his bed. Because domestic violence bars are not going to do it. And I'm not MGK. I'm not just jumping at the chance to respond to you. I know what you and Paul doing, my nigga. It's over.
MGK
it's over, and you know it. And the second I thought that you didn't know it, and the second I thought it's impossible for him to be able to pull some type of creative shit from niggas less famous than him, I listened to your album and Stepping Stone. You confirm it for me. You say, it's over, dog. I tried to help niggas. I thought in my head it didn't quite work out as planned. I'm not charting now myself. You tried to sing it, so you tried to hide it. You don't sound very confident. How can you also be that guy and then talk about how you not like somebody? You right, you not like me, M. I don't move nowhere without my niggas. When I make a bag, my niggas make the bag.
Yeah.
I'm looking around at niggas close to niggas. I'm not judging niggas as rappers no more. I'm past that. I'm retired, baby. I'm judging niggas as men. What kind of man are you? Don't tell me on your album how much you love D12. When I look at Bizarre, he don't look like he's doing very well. Tata looks great. Tata's skin is glowing.
Talking about Jay-Z.
Hey, Jay Brown looks impeccable. B-Dot looks rather lather. Hey, all Jay's career, all he ever do is talk about all the other niggas he made millionaires. Let's talk about it, nigga. The nerve of you to fucking speak his name. You not like him. And you not like me. No, buddy.
How's it going in?
We're not the same.
Okay, so he talking about Eminem had a line in his album talking about they want the M that killed someone on their own track, and he was referring to the Jay-Z Renegade song, you know, where everybody's now I say that Eminem washed Jay-Z on that song, so that's what Eminem was referring to. But that was like 2001 or something like that. So he's bringing that up now, but what's the point? It's like he's trying to convince everyone that he's as great as the myth has been. So
we not the same. It was all the great. No.
And the funny thing is, before I watched this podcast, Bizarre had he had a response video where he was talking about MGK, and he just saying that Eminem gonna get back at him. And the whole time I was thinking, like, why does Bizarre look so old and dry? He don't look like he was ever had any money, ever was a rapper or nothing. But now he's hitting on that.
Royce looks great.
Royce does
look great.
And Royce, I think that's because of Royce. It's not really because of Eminem. Royce does shit on his own. He does mixtapes. He freaking does stuff outside of Eminem, and he's never been reliant on Eminem. So Royce does look great. He's like the only artist that still looks like he's a rapper in the club, because he is a rapper.
factored that into my thinking.
I don't even know if
more.
D12 still rap.
You know that Royce, I love Royce like a brother outside of rap.
I think Bizarre
Fuck
kept
rap.
rapping.
I've seen Royce put his life on the line for me.
All right, we back at it. So we had a little technical difficulties. The camera cut off for some reason. So, all right now he's talking about Royce put his life on the line for him. So if you guys don't know, I think it was a top MC list, and Joe Buddens had made a comment saying that he should be higher than Method Man. So whether you believe that or not is up to you. But that created some beef between him and Method Man. And so what ended up happening was Raekwon ended up smacking or punching Joe or something like that. And it started to get serious. So this is a clip of Royce running into a couple of the dudes from Wu-Tang. I forgot who was there. I don't know if I can see him in the clip, but let me watch it. So Royce don't have the shirt on.
If I tell you, you're the only nigga I'm talking to, that's it. Listen to what I'm saying. And I told you right there to tell old boy, all he gotta do is dead. Go apologize. This is what Meth came and told me. He ain't gotta suck my dick, he ain't gotta do none of that. Get at him. Same way he put that out there, put it out there, and it's over. What you told me? Hold up. I don't know if my man.
What happened today? What happened today?
What happened?
That shit was a disrespect to me. Because the shit wouldn't happen if I was here. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, but hold up, boy. What I'm saying, it wouldn't happen. What you mean it
wouldn't happen if I was here?
Hold on.
So this right here, I've seen it. You do say neighborhood criminal. All right, so basically, I guess this is the smacked or punched or whatever. And, he got surrounded by all the Wu-Tang dudes, but Royce was, I think Royce had his guys, but I don't think Royce built like that though. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to be fucking with, but it's over now. But Royce had his back, and I think he was probably the only one in Slaughterhouse that really had his back on that. So
Royce put his career on the line for me. Mm-hmm. Now,
so you can see
because he was stubborn, it's because he loves me, who cares? But guess what? Joe values things that way.
Or at least
I appreciate
Joe
that.
has for Royce.
I'm never addressing Royce, ever. Anything I ever say, I'm not addressing Royce. But it puts him and I in an interesting spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that I won't talk about.
Sure.
That I won't talk about. So my crossroads is this.
All right. It's almost over, you good.
In the event that you want to address me, nigga, you'll do it outside of your album rollout. Let me know that you mean it. Let me know that you really took some time out of your day to go in the booth and address another nigga when there was no financial gain involved for you. I keep saying that. And the second that you do it, I'm on your ass. Hear me loud and clear.
There we have it.
I am gonna cut your fucking ass up. And I've been waiting, baby.
That's a great way to end it. All right. So, for all the people that really don't know Joe Buddens, and he definitely don't have a big fan base, and even a lot of hip hop fans don't really like him just because of his crazy personality. But when you look at the people that Eminem has faced and the people that Joe Buddens has faced, so for the people that don't know, straight off my head, I don't know how many other beefs he's had, but I know 50 Cent, I know G-Unit, I know The Game, I know Saigon, I know Jay-Z, I know Prodigy from Mobb Deep. I think him and Royce had a few bars before they ended up getting cool. I feel like I'm missing somebody important. I don't know if him and Meth ever had anything on wax or anything, but it's a laundry list of people that Joe Buddens has went at. Of course, Drake. That was recently Drake. But there's a laundry list of people that Joe Buddens has faced, and if you go check out his diss tracks, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But he hasn't lost many, so I will say that. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Just put Joe Buddens diss in your YouTube search bar, and you can see some of the videos. If anybody wants me to react to any of the songs, hit me up. But Joe Buddens is not to be really fucked with, especially when it comes to dissing people, because he goes in deep and he gets personal, and he's fucking good at what he does. A lot of people that are new to Joe Buddens, they're like, oh, but he lost the whole Hollow to Dawn. Yes, Joe Buddens was out of his zone. He went on the stage and tried to do a freestyle battle, which I don't think he got washed in. He lost, but he didn't get washed in that motherfucker. He was good, but I don't think Eminem could do that anymore either. So it is what it is. Joe's pen game is good. Eminem, everybody knows, is an amazing wordsmith. He knows how to rhyme. His rhyme patterns are crazy. He can rhyme anything. But it's like when Pusha T in the game. Pusha T has all this information. Not Pusha T in the game. Pusha T and Drake. Pusha T had all this information, which gave him the upper hand. Joe Buddens has all this information because he's been studying him all these years. M doesn't really know much about Joe except for the drugs and beating women, which is the same thing Eminem does. Like, how can he point at the dude without looking in the mirror himself? So everything Eminem could say, Joe Buddens could say and more. So, not saying he can't be. Not saying that Eminem can't beat him with just a great song, because Joe Budden historically hasn't made great songs per se by itself, but his content was always there. So let me know what you guys think about the beef. Do you think Eminem's gonna respond soon to MGK, or do you think Drake's even gonna respond to Eminem kind of sending that jab at him? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you think Joe Buddens has lost his mind. Do you think he can even compete with Eminem? Or let me know if you think Eminem doesn't stand a chance. But if you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I might start uploading more frequently on this channel, especially if this hip-hop beef continues, because I love it. It made me interested in the music again. So that's all I got on this one. It's your boy Benny Blanco. I'm out. Peace.